Hey guys, good morning. It is Tuesday, and I finally got to watch the 6th episode of House of the Dragon Season 3. Now, I gotta be honest with you. I tried watching it. I said, when I got home from the show that I saw on Sunday, I tried watching it, and I was a little tired, and I fell asleep on it. And I watched it last night, and I had to sit up because I like to watch my shows in the bed, right? I almost fell asleep again. It was a little snoozeville for me at points. Not gonna hold you. Still a good episode. And it really showcased how much of, I won't say how bad of a parent Allison is, but it definitely didn't showcase her love for her daughter and her love for her sons, right? Like there's no secret that 2 of her 3 sons have turned out to be what many may consider monsters, but they have a lot of trauma that fuel that existence, for lack of a better term. So a lot happened, and it was very, very interesting to see how they started off the episode. So we see Christian Cole with the little bit of men that he has left walking through the woods, and one of his men discovers something that seems a little bit odd. And when I looked at it, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And we shortly come to realize that it was a trap and that they were ambushed. And there was a little bit of fight that ensued, but unfortunately for them, they found out that they were surrounded. And Tully, he had some real dope lines there, talking about, I promised my men bones. I don't have enough. What I did not see coming was those 3 arrows out of nowhere to take him out. And for a split second, you know what? I did feel bad for Christian Cole, because we saw in that moment when he still has that handkerchief from Allison. And when you think back to what he was willing to give up to be with Rhaenyra, and the pride that he took in being a Kingsguard, and how he broke his oath by being with Allison. All he had was his name and his honor, and he wanted to stand for something. Did he go about it the right way? Absolutely not. But he wanted to go out a fighter, a hero, a warrior, right? And I'm not gonna hold you. He's a good fighter. He is a good fighter. We saw what he did with Morningstar. We saw him in the very, very beginning go toe-to-toe with Daemon. I mean, they had all that extra gear on, but I guess he wanted to go out guns blazing, being known for dying by the sword, protecting the realm. And that was snatched from him in 10 seconds. 10 seconds. That's the end of Christian Cole, right? Then we go to Rhaenyra and her peanut gallery of a small council, and she's just all over the place. They're all over the place. The comedic duo to the left, Damon was too through with them, because none of what they're doing is making sense. None of what they're doing is making sense. Damon is still in her ear saying, let me do what I need to do. We should have done this. We should have bring dragons. And she's trying to be kinder despite all the bloodshed that's taking place in her kingdom. Damon is seeing red. He's going for blood because his yellow cloaks have been being picked off one by one by a mysterious group of men, right? And it was sad because when he went to go back to where they had the Feast of Traitors scene in the last episode, you could see like he was sad. And what made it worse was that the remaining yellow cloaks came basically resigning, and rightfully so. Like, they have families, they're not getting paid, they're really doing this on the strength of him, and they're dying, like quickly dying by these sneaky phantoms in the night, you know, and they're doing it in a very brutal way, you know, gutting people. And so now there's nobody to protect the kingdom. Going back to Rhaenyra and her council, she is requesting that Corlys have some of his men come and protect King's Landing. He's still sour on her. He's another one still seeing red. And forgive me if I don't know the ways of Valyrian, like, soldiers, but why are they wasting so much time hanging the people of the triarchy that they come into contact with? Why are they doing that? To me, that's so performative. You're wasting precious time, because if you weren't out there dragging bodies off the cart and making sure you have the cord and hanging them on the trees, you probably wouldn't have gotten captured, Corlys. But being as though he is too through with Rhaenyra, maybe him being captured and changing sides is what he wants to do. Alan gave him a line that shook him in his boots. He was coming to him on the orders of the Queen to get more men to fight for her cause. And he was like, you're gonna, you know, let this woman bark orders to you, and she denied you legitimacy. And he's like, well, how long did it take you, Negro? You knew I was yours from day one, and you didn't want to give me your name, but you mad at this white woman for saying no? Like, dude, you're my dad. I'm a bastard because of you. So I'm doing my duty. What have you been doing? Loved that for him. Some people had an issue with the whole Bela and Alan scene. And if you know in the books, like, they do get together. There could have been more of a build-up because we don't really see them together. It seemed as if her and Adam were kind of like flirting a little bit, or he was flirting with her. But I was shocked to see. I wasn't expecting that to happen in that moment. I was expecting them to have more of an intimate conversation, because Alan came to her asking if Bela can talk to her grandfather, you know. And so, you know, then we moved to Ormond and Gwaine Hightower, the brothers, and he comes in and he's trying to figure out, well, like, why are you here, and where's Christian Cole? And he's basically like, listen, this is a lost cause. Like, I'm not gonna die on the battlefield when we are truly outnumbered. He has something to prove, and he wants to die on the field. That's not my calling, you know, and it's safer here. And Ormond's trying to give him his speech about, you know, being patient and all that, and that's all fine and dandy. Like, let the fight come to them. You know, they have more numbers. At least they believe they do, right? Because they haven't seen with their own two eyes like the Starks and the Rivermen or the White Wolves. They haven't seen how large of a number. Now that's not to say that it's larger than Hightower soldiers, like their amount. And they do have Syrian, but we'll see. And so they allude to Gawain being of another persuasion when he tells Darren to, go, get his quarters ready, make sure he takes a bath and all that stuff, and to make sure that you keep your back to the wall. And I was like, dude, that's his nephew. What is happening right now? But also, it made it seem as if Gawain, what we saw in that moment, that Gawain and Darren have a much better relationship and rapport than Darren has with Ormond. And he felt like, you left me here with this monster, don't leave me again. Gawain's like, I'm out. I'm going back to Old Town. Like, this ain't it. Obviously, he can't take him with him because Ormond's trying to live vicariously through Darren and basically make him as his puppet. But unbeknownst to him, he's like, what? You're just talking about men. Darren's third in line in terms of Hightower Targaryen children. But he thinks that he's up next because Aemon is MIA, presumed dead, and so is Aegon. No one knows where Aegon is, right? Jumping all over the place. There's a scene where these Baratheon men come to bend the knee, and they look a hot mess. They look like they've been through it, through the mud. And we see in that moment how sensitive Ormond's nose is, because you see him, I guess, catch a whiff of them, and he kind of like makes a little face and then distances himself from them. They clock it and they're like, we're sorry for our, how we are presenting ourselves, but we just want to see the prince, or the king. And Gawain clocks it immediately. He's looking at the guy because he introduces himself as a certain person, and he's like, nope, that's not his hair color, and he's a little bit taller than that. They're here to kill both of y'all. And he whips out his sword. And the gentleman that has like the brunette hair with the bowl haircut, they get the slicing and dicing. And I'm looking at Ormond like, dude, you have a Valyrian steel, like you have a monster of a sword. Get up in there and do your thing. And he's standing back just as like frazzled as Darren. And I don't know if it was the smell of them, or it was the smell of the blood, or the sight of the blood, but he's very squeamish, and he upchucked something crazy. And I was just like, ain't no way you gonna have a battle come to Tumbleton and you gonna, what do you think these people are gonna smell like when you're all up and through the fight? You gotta, this isn't like wars where we have guns. You have to get up close and personal to stab and slice and dice these people. What is that about? I have a sensitive nose too. And as a nurse, you gonna smell some smells. But man up, get it together. So that scene was so shocking and funny to me, because Darren was also looking at Ormond like, dude, are you serious right now? Are you serious? But anywho, so we go back to King's Landing and we see Daemon in disguise. He's dressed as a yellow cloak. He's trying to catch, he's baiting people. He's trying to catch someone who's been doing the killing by being disguised as a yellow cloak. And it works. He has someone who follows him in like a dark little like alley area in town, and it's the gentleman that was manning the Scorpions, the one that has the different color eyes, a blue and a brown, I think, color eyes. It's him. And I expected him to fold like a warm basket of laundry, and he did not. He was like, yo, we out here and we're gonna keep doing what we gotta do, because we're not going to honor or respect Rhaenyra. So killing me ain't gonna do nothing. We still out here. We're gonna kill as many of y'all as we can. That's it. That's all. Good night, San Francisco. And that was it. Damon was like, I mean, what can I do? He's one of many. And so he kills him. Obviously, that was a given. But I was like, darn, like he wasn't scared. He wasn't shook. He took one for the team. So that was pretty scary, because we don't know what Ormond is paying these men or threatening them with if they don't do what he wants them to do. And we don't know how many of them they're there, you know, which is scary. He has that little girl, you know, being his little eyes in the street. They keep showing her. I don't think that's going to end well for her either. If Damon catches on, if he keeps seeing her like in the shadows every time he's out in the street, you know. And people kind of know it's him, because, you know, it's not that many like blonde-haired people that we see in the street. Then he runs into Alf, and Alf is not on his post. Alf wants to enjoy life. He was, you know, sent to survey the land. Like, he was deployed out there, and he's like, I've been out there for days. I need to have some fun. I need the touch of a woman. I need some alcohol. And I'm sure Rhaenyra, if I'm not mistaken, told him now that he is a knight, he can't be dilly-dallying in the same places that he was prior to this appointment. You need to, like, look the part and behave as such. He said, damn that. A man has needs. I want to hang out with my boys. And he's him and Han and gets smacked across the face by Damon. I mean, he is the prince, but you talking to him crazy. And he don't give a damn about none of that right now. Like, there is a mission at hand. I'm the only person out here with a yellow cloak on. And the last thing that I expect to see is you out here doing what you're not supposed to be doing. Every time I see you, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So he's tired of him. And he said, if I see you again, what did he say? I'm gonna take your eyes out? Something crazy? So that didn't leave a good taste in Alf's mouth either, right? Because from day one, he didn't respect him. We also see Hugh the Hammer. And I like his character. I like him a lot. His wife made me hella mad. Because he finds a way to get into town, right? With a man that has a wagon and some goods on it, you know, for the people. And he's looking for her. He finds her. She presumes him to be dead. And he's like, I'm here. This is what happened. I'm a dragon rider now. Rhaenyra promised us safe housing, more money. I'm here to take you so you don't live in peril. Like, let's go. And she's like, all she heard was, oh, so you got a dragon now. You been up there flying around, playing around, while I had to suffer out here. Ma'am, he was trying to find a way to provide for you, unbeknownst to you. There's no cell phones where he can call you and say, this is what I'm doing. And she didn't want to go. She didn't want to go. And she's like, who are you? Like, snatched herself away. Almost made it seem like as if he was doing something to her. I was just so hurt for him. I really, really was. And when she dies, because she's going to die, right? She's going to regret it. She's going to regret not going with him. I know it. I know it. Now, we know that she hasn't secured an actual spot. She's talked about it, but it hasn't come to fruition yet when he asked about housing, right? But if I'm going off your word and all you have is your word, then your word is golden. At least it should be, right? Let's not forget about Harrenhal. Harrenhal. So we see Alice and Eamon. She's, still kind of nursing him back to health. He seems, resistant to her, a little like skeptical. He has his sights on leaving because he wants to find Vhagar. And Alice River, right? That's her name, right? She is trying to get him to understand, like, maybe him being here and Vhagar, her leaving is actually saving his life. Now, I don't know if she truly is interested in him, like, romantically, or she's seeing him as a come up in that he is a Targaryen, right? He's a damn good fighter. He's attractive, And unbeknownst to him, like, she has, 5 or 6 dragon eggs that in her mind can potentially hatch and be the dragons of Harrenhal. She could be his wife. They can have children and live happily ever after. And I think she's speaking to a part of him that desperately wants that. We know that he has this thing for, like, mother figures, which is sad because that's the trauma part of his character. When he was going to the brothel and he had that woman that he would, like, lay in the fetal position with and kissed his actual birth mom, and when he got hurt, he was laying on Alice and she was humming like a mom would to their baby. And I think he's entertaining the idea of being with her. So we'll see. But if you know the story, you know the story. I don't want to ruin it. But yeah, she told him, like, people are out to get you. And they're expecting to see Vhagar wherever you are. So if Vhagar's not here, why would they expect you to be here? Right? So there's that. And so, in that scene, she does reveal that she has those dragon eggs that I was talking about. They're not chicken eggs, you know what I mean? They don't hatch very quickly. So if they think these things are going to hatch, anytime soon, they're not. And how can I forget Rhaena? So she goes up to the veil, and that woman needs to be put in her place, because who the hell do you think you are? Slapping her like that. My thing is, like, where else can she go? Where else can Rhaena and Sheepstealer go? because she's living in exile in like a cave eating blackberries. What kind of life is that? Like, is that what she thinks? Like, the lady from the veil is providing some type of shelter for her by her living in the wilderness? She could live in the wilderness anywhere. I hope Raina gets the gumption to stand up to her and say, listen, you forget who my father is. I mean, he was already up there. He was trying to, like, buy her. I don't like that lady at all. I feel bad for Raina. So, all in all, it was an interesting episode. Allison, you know, it's crazy how Rhaenyra flipped the script, because she was coming to her privately for some like counsel. Rhaenyra coming to Allison for counsel, and now that the cat's out the bag and Helena is known to be with child, she has every right not to trust her and to think that she's going to kill Helena and or this unborn child. Allison is all about getting out. Like, she don't care. Like, no one except for Helena seems to care about Jaehaera. I don't like that. And it's just, Rhaenyra is turning into something that I feel like Allison warned her about. She was dead set on saying that she wasn't going to become. And she's not making really wise decisions right now. You know what I mean? Allison knows that her daughter, I wouldn't say touched, but she has a gift. Excuse me. Jeez. And she was really trying to advocate for her daughter by saying she can't be cooped up in here like this. Like, it's going to drive her crazy. Like, not to compare blows, but your kids died. In the sky, in the water, you know, for your honor. She watched her baby get beheaded. I wouldn't be right if I saw that. You know what I mean? And then they're making me pick which one to do. You know, so like, you have to, like, that's your sister. Like, you have to give her, like, something. You took away the opportunity, the right, rather, for her to be around her daughter as much as she wants to. You give her an hour a day. She likes going out into the garden. And you took that from her. She have her cooped up in a room where all she's doing is needle pointing, looking at walls. That would drive somebody insane as well. You're sitting there in a room with your mother, who is lying to you. She has great discernment, so she realizes from the rip, like, you're lying to me. And then they have a conversation which is well overdue. Like, you couldn't have picked anybody else for me to marry? Like, you really married me off to my brother? And then, you know, Allison reveals that was her dad's idea. You know, Otto Hightower. It's like, girl. And for what? He's dead. He's dead. Like, she could have had as many children as she wanted with some other man, and they would have been safe. You know. Does Allison feel sad about that? I don't know. Maybe she's just so far gone and so depressed that she's just like, you know what? I'm just trying to survive. But now, because they tried to escape, Rhaenyra feels the obligation to like be harder on her. Like, Helena doesn't deserve any of this. And that's why I feel that's the one person I feel, there's a couple. The kids, obviously, like the little babes, I feel bad for. But definitely Helena. She got sucked in this nearly by relation in marriage. But then she throws her under the bus. Then Allison throws Helena under the bus. You're advocating for your child to be free. And then you say too much. You say too much by telling Rhaenyra that she's a dreamer. That, you know, has her antennas sitting up, because dreamers tend to be very accurate about what comes down the pipeline in the future. And the doom of Valyria and everything, you know. So, and the song Ice and Fire, obviously. And so now she's going to use her, and we kind of see that in the preview of the next episode. She's going to try to use her to get information out of her. I'm not helping you, woman. You have to kill me first. That's the type of... And Helena has a stare that means don't play with me. You know? Don't play with me. And so Allison just running her mouth. Like, she confirms that through her visions, Helena's visions, that Aemon is not dead and that he's at Harrenhal. All because of something that she was stitching when she was needle pointing. She looked at it. And it looks like Aemon's laying there in fetal position. We know it's him because he has long blonde hair and a sapphire eye. And it looks like he's like laying in a pool of blood. That's what it appeared to be. Could it be that? Absolutely not. But we know that he's really at Harrenhal. And Rhaenyra has this bright idea to send off Allison to either, one, have him come back to King's Landing or kill him herself. What is going on? What is going on? Oh, last thing, they finally did it. They finally did it. So she, Rhaenyra was sitting on the throne, listening to people's petitions, and she's not helping anybody do anything. And then she cuts her hand. She cuts her hand and hides it, and she immediately gets up and walks away. So I'm gonna wrap it here. But yep, interesting episode. A lot of things happened. Got to see just about all the characters. I think we briefly saw Aegon and Larys. Also Lannister, Tywin Lannister. But yeah, what did you think about the episode? What do you think is going to happen in the next 3 episodes? You know, they've been having a track record where something big happens in the 9th episode and then we bring it, you know, to a close in the 10th. So let me know what you think. I'm looking forward to how the next 3 episodes pan out with all the characters. And I wonder if anybody else is going to meet their demise, like main characters, you know. Alrighty, until next time, this is Watching with Cherie. If you like what you see, like, hit the subscribe button, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.